Good morning, children. Welcome you all in Augmenting Concepts. Today we are going to cover the auditory system of human being. Auditory system means the system by which we can hear the sound of outside world. On this diagram on the screen, you can see that how incoming sound waves are entering through the ear and they are traveling inside the ear, and from there it is passed on and then it is reaching to the brain. Here incoming sound waves are collected by the external ear, then it is sent inside through the funnel of the ear into the middle ear, where there is an eardrum to which the sound waves are striked. This creates vibration. The vibrations are then passed on in the middle ear. In the middle ear, there are three small bones which pass on this vibration into the internal ear, in which a fluid is filled. From here, the nerves carry the impulses to the brain. The internal ear looks like this. So, for your notes, sound waves enter the outer ear. This is, you can see in the diagram, external ear. This is the middle ear and this is the internal ear. Means this portion is in external ear, the ear which you can see fine outside the body. Then middle ear is inside and then external ear, internal ear is absolutely in our head. Sound waves enter the outer ear and reaches to the eardrum. As a result, the eardrum and ossicles vibrate. Ossicles means the small bones which are present inside the middle ear, which we are going to study in detail in the further coming slides. Vibration of stapes means the vibration of the middle ear bones. The middle ear bones, inside which stape is one bone. Against the oval window is also a part of middle ear which we are going to study. Fine. The vibration of stapes against the oval window create waves in the fluid of cochlea. Now this cochlea is inside the internal ear which we are going to study. It causes the basilar membrane to vibrate. There is a membrane which is right here. You can see this black layer is the basilar membrane. When the basilar membrane is vibrated, it sends impulses to the brain. Fine. Nerves are send impulses which are sent to the brain through cochlea. Fine. So I think you have got an idea what is the auditory system. In the next slide, we are going to study that what is the situation of the auditory system in our head, inside our head. So students, on the screen you can see situation of the auditory system is like this. Means this is the brain, this is the human brain, and to the left and to the right side of our brain, two ears are situated as we know. Now, the two ears are divided into three parts. External one, which you can see the outside of the body, and this is external ear. Fine. Now, the middle ear and internal ear is this. Fine. On the both sides, middle ear and internal ear. Now, from the internal ear of one ear, the nerves are connected to the opposite side of the brain, and from this ear the nerves are connected to the opposite side of this side of the brain. Now the position, the part of the brain which are responsible for collecting and responding to the ears are called auditory area in the central cortex, auditory area in the central cortex. Fine. So the brain area is called the cerebral cortex. The brain area is cerebral cortex. In the cerebral cortex, there is a area which is responsible. There is an area which is responsible for the sounds collection and responding, that is called an auditory area. Now, the auditory area is given input by the auditory nerves. Is given input through the auditory nerves, which you can see right here. Fine. So this is the situation inside our head. Now, if you can see this diagram, you will be knowing that these are the eyes. Fine. And this is the head, and this is the ear. This is the external ear, and this is the ear canal, which is middle ear. This is also the middle ear, and the fifth and sixth positions are internal ear. So you can see right from the outside of the ear till to the near of the eye, there is the whole portion of ear. Fine. Both the ears are situated in the head. In the brain auditory area, in the cerebral cortex for both sides receives auditory nerve impulses in order to generate respective commands according to inputs. Fine. Both sides cerebral cortex receives the input from both the ears. Then these inputs are matched with the already recorded commands in the head, in the brain, and then if they match, the brain responds accordingly, or if they don't match, they try to they try to understand and memorize for the future. So this is the situation of auditory system in our head. Now, moving forward, the significance of the auditory system. Right, students, before we start that what is the diagram of the auditory system, so we must know, or we study about what is the auditory system, what are ear, what is its structure. We must know the significance of the auditory system that creates an adequate inquisitive meaning for our brain to know about the subject. So significance of the auditory system. First is significance means importance. What is the importance of audit? Is it only responsible for hearing the sounds, or is there any other role of auditory system? You must know that. So the point number one is auditory system enables humans to hear the sounds of outside world and also to respond accordingly. Fine. Auditory system, as we all know, is responsible for hearing the sounds of outside world and accordingly responding. Fine. Respond accordingly. The second point, auditory system is also provides balance while moving or stationary. Yeah, that's true. Auditory system plays a great role in providing body balance while we are moving or walking, running, or anything else. It provides us balance. If we are standing, so we can stand straight if our auditory system is perfect. So auditory system also provides balance while moving or stationary. And students, I must tell you here that in the middle ear, there are the hair cells, right? Hair cells are there through which the liquid is when the liquid moves, the hair cell also moves. Through that, the balance is maintained. That we will study in the further slides. It means static balance. When a person can sense gravity and dynamic balance, when a person can sense acceleration. That means when you are standing static or doing nothing or standing straight, you can feel the gravitational force and you can balance against the gravity. Fine, because if your auditory system is working perfectly. And what is dynamic balance? Means you can maintain balance while in acceleration. Acceleration means in speed in one direction. When you are in speed in any direction, you can easily maintain your balance because of the auditory system. Yeah. Third point is auditory system provides smooth cognitive functionality. Now, what are cognitive functionality? Which include hearing, listening, comprehending and communicating. If your auditory system is perfect, you can listen, you can hear, you can comprehend. Means by listening you can easily comprehend that what is what is told to you, or what is the thing which you have heard just now. If you miss any portion of that, you can't comprehend that what is going on. Fine, you can't conclude, you can't make an conclusion without hearing the whole thing. So auditory system is also responsible. If we are comprehending correctly, that means auditory system is really functioning well. Communicating, right students? You can't communicate if you can't listen. If you don't listen properly, you can't communicate, you can't answer, or you can't ask questions if you don't communicate. Fine. If you don't hear, how will you communicate? If you don't hear properly, how can you give answers, or how can you ask questions? If there is no proper hearing, it means a person is not able to pay attention, memorize, or use languages. Fine. If you are not hearing, fine. If you are not hearing, so you can't pay attention. Fine. If the sound is not coming properly, how can you pay attention if you're not hearing? So once concentration is broken, how can you pay attention anymore? Memorize. What do you memorize? Which you hear, which you listen, which you comprehend, only that you can memorize. So if the auditory system is not working perfectly, you can't memorize. Use language. How can you use any language? When you will listen, you will learn, you will understand, then only can you use it. Now, if there is no listening, everything is stopped. Point number 4 is auditory system improper functioning can also lead to delayed speech processing. Auditory system, if is not working properly, there is a delay in speech. Fine. The one who can't speak properly, or one who speaks while speaking, if one takes pauses in between, that means the listening is not proper, है ना? तो can lead delayed speech processing. Speech process तभी शुरू होगा ना when the person is listening properly, then only he can speak properly, no? Middle ear fluid problems prevent the ear from conducting sounds properly, which affects hearing process, and hearing loss can delay the development of speech and language skills. Fine. If the middle ear fluid is not properly working, so it can prevent the sounds to be passed on to the internal ear, and if it is not properly passed into the internal ear, it can't reach to the brain, and the brain can't respond. Fine. So as a result, what will happen? Hearing process and hearing loss, fine, and delayed speech and language skills. That is as a result, what will happen? There will be no speech processing. Development of speech and language skills will not be there. Fifth point, auditory systems internal part disorders. If auditory system's internal part means internal ear is not working properly or having disorders, causes a person to experience severe vertigo. Means if the internal ear is not working properly, you all know the balance will be not there, and the person will not be confident enough to stand into the height. What is vertigo? Fear of height. Fine. If he will be standing in to a very height, so what will he feel? He will feel very afraid of it. He will be feeling phobia from height. Why it is so? Because his internal ear is not working properly. As a result, he will suffer from a severe vertigo. Severe means very, very critical problem of vertigo, phobia from height. Secondly, nausea and vomiting. If there will be no body balance, so nausea means every time you dizziness you will be feeling, right? Feel like sleeping. Vomiting you will be feeling if there is no body balance, no? Dizziness, balance problems will be there. Balance problems will be there. Fine students, now moving further, this is the anatomy of ear. Finally, when we have concluded that what is the auditory system and how it is positioned inside our head, then what is the significance of auditory system? Now we are going to do anatomy of ear. Here on the screen you can see the external ear, the middle ear, external ear, the middle ear and the internal ear. So the external ear is composed of helix, pinna, cartilage, antihelix, auditory canal, concha. These all are the parts of external ear. As you can see, it is like a funnel. Fine. Now, the middle ear is consists of a temporal bone, malleus, incus and stapes. Malleus, incus and stapes are small students. Malleus, incus and stapes are three small bones of middle ear. After the completion of outer ear description, we will be going into the middle ear portion. There we are going to study about these three bones in a detailed manner. Now this is the internal ear, which is comprised of semicircular canals. You can see this is not a complete circle. This is a semicircle. So there are three semicircular bones. Fine. Then cochlea, this round shaped, this is cochlea. Vestibular nerves, cochlear nerves, round window, internal carotid artery, eustachian tube, opening to nasopharynx. Fine. And this is styloid bone. Each and every term I am going to describe, and this is eardrum, which is also known as tympanic membrane, and in Hindi we used to use the term kan ka parda for this eardrum or tympanic membrane. Fine. So this is the tympanic membrane, which is in between of the outer and middle ear. Fine. Now moving forward, parts of ear. We are going to learn in detail what are the parts of ear, how they are. So in the diagram, this much portion is only I have taken. So you can understand very well, and in each slide I have only taken that much part only. Like for the outer ear description, I have only taken the outer ear. For the middle ear portion, I have taken the outer and the middle portion, and for the inner ear, I have taken all the three portions. So the understanding is very clear. So you can see this is the outer ear only, which is comprised of helix, pinna, cartilage, antihelix, auditory canal, concha and ear lobe. So in the description you will see the outer ear is made up of different parts, as you can see. All these parts shown in the diagram maintain flexibility. We all know the ear can be is flexible and can be moved from its position, isn't it? It is flexible and flexibility and give the outer ear a shape of a funnel. It gives the outer ear shape of a funnel. When you drop some oil inside your ear to make it clean, you very easily you can observe that it is in a shape of a funnel. Funnel you all know, through which we can pour something. Isn't it a funnel? So the outer ear is in the shape of a funnel, which can collect sounds and direct them into the ear auditory canal. Why it is in a shape of funnel? So that it can collect the sounds and focus it and pour it or send it inside the ear canal, auditory canal, which you can see here inside this funnel. This is an auditory canal. So have you ever noticed then if we want to make our sound reach to a distant place, what we do? We put our hand like this on the mouth, and then we make a noise, so that it is amplified. It is the sound can be reached there. Fine. So in the same way, the outer ear is in the shape of funnel, so that the whole sounds can be collected and can be concentrated, focused on into the auditory canal. Sound waves and direct them into the auditory canal. Here the sound is amplified. In the auditory canal, inside the middle ear, the sound is amplified, means it is enhanced, increased. That is called amplified. The sound waves then move towards the eardrum or tympanic membrane. Inside tympanic membrane, in the tympanic membrane, it is moved towards. Okay? The auditory canal is nearly 2.5 centimeter lengthy. How much the auditory canal is? It is 2.5 centimeter lengthy and extends to tympanic membrane, and it is up to the tympanic membrane. Fine. Canal has tiny hairs and modified sweat glands. The canal has tiny hairs. We all know our ear has small, tiny, very tiny hair are there, and what? Hair and modified sweat glands. There are glands, sweat glands, but sweat glands are modified. Fine. So these glands produce ear wax. Fine, students. You all know when you clear your ear, you can see there is a deposited wax there. No. So this is the product of these modified sweat glands, through which the ear wax is produced. This ear wax, what is the function of this? Ear wax prevents insects from entering the ear. If there will be ear wax deposited there, if any insects is going to enter in your ear, the ear wax, inside the ear wax, it will be caught and it will be not able to enter your ear. These glands produce earwax. This earwax prevents insects from entering the ear. The ear lobe, you can see here, girls wear ornaments in their ear, on their earlobes. The earlobe does not contain cartilage. It absolutely is. It is not having any kind of soft or hard bone. It is not having. It has a large blood supply. Fine. It has nerves. Fine. It has many nerves and may help to warm the ears and maintain balance. If these ear lobes are having nerves and it keeps the body warm, plus it is helpful, very helpful in maintaining balance. Fine, students. Now moving forward, this is the diagram of the middle ear, in which I have taken the outer ear and the middle ear. But this one, the second diagram, which you can see in, beyond the cursor, you can see this is properly the middle ear. Here, this is the external ear. Then temporal bone is a part of the middle ear. Then malleus, incus and stapes. This is the major part of the middle ear. Fine. And round window. This is the part of the middle ear, this much. And eustachian tube is also the part of middle ear. Now here you can see malleus. If we can see, it is like a hammer. So according to the shape, it is also called hammer bone. It is the shortest. These all three bones, malleus, incus and stapes. These all are the smallest bone of the human body, very small, tiny. All the three bones are not bigger than an orange seed. Fine. All the three bones are not bigger than, collectively, all the three bones together are not up to a size of an orange seed or orange seed. Fine. So this is the hammer, this is the anvil, and this is the stapes. Have you seen the footrest of the when you ride a horse, when somebody is, have you seen the pictures of horse riders? Horse riders rest their foot inside a metal stirrup. So this is the stapes. It looks like that, no? This is the stapes. So after that, this is named. Fine. So this is the diagram of middle ear. Now the description. Working of the middle ear. Fine. The temporal bone, which you have just seen in the diagram, if you want to see, you can go back into the video, you can see, surrounds the ears and protects nerves and structures that play a role in controlling hearing and balance. What is temporal bone? It surrounds the ear. ठीक है. The working of temporal bone is to surround and protect the ear. And nerves, there are very tiny bones and nerves inside the ear, protect them. Temporal bone is there, and it also plays a great role in hearing and maintaining body balance. Second is tympanic cavity. It is the small cavity surrounding the bones of the middle ear. It contains the ossicles. Ossicles means three small bones: malleus, incus and stapes. ठीक है. तो tympanic cavity contains these ossicles or three bones that transmit vibrations for sound detection. Tympanic cavity does transmission of the vibration of sound and for the detection of sound. Tympanic membrane, what does it does? Separates the outer ear from the middle ear, as you have seen in the diagram. When sound waves reach to the tympanic membrane starts vibrating. ठीक है. Then vibrations are transferred to the three bones in the middle ear. Fine. After the tympanic membrane, the sound wave reaches to the three small bones: incus, malleus and stapes, and all the three bones starts vibrating. Fine. Then bones in the middle ear. The middle ear bones then transfer the vibrating signals to the inner ear. Now this vibration is then transferred to the inner ear. Finally, the middle ear has three ossicles. All the three bones are collectively called ossicles. So whenever the ossicle term is used, you must understand that ossicle refers to the three bones. The middle ear has ossicles, which are three tiny bones known as malleus, which is also called hammer, incus, which is also called anvil, and the stapes, which looks like stirrups. These are the smallest bone in the human body. As I have told you, the absence of the ossicle will lead to the hearing loss. Why? Because all the three bones, when they vibrate, the vibration is sent into the internal ear, from where it sends the nerves impulses to the brain. So if there will be no three bones, there will be hearing loss. Due to the vibration, the ossicles also start vibrate. Fine. Ossicles means three bones. They also start vibrate. This allows the vibration to pass in the inner ear fluid. The ossicles amplify the incoming sound waves up to 20%. Means the ossicles amplify, increase or enhance the sound waves up to the 20%. The sound is increased up to 20%. This amplification क्यों बढ़ती है, increase क्यों होती है? This amplification is because of the surface area of the stirrup bone, which is much lesser to the eardrum. If you can see in the diagram, you will see that the eardrum is much bigger and stirrup or the stapes bone is very smaller than the eardrum. So the sound wave which are coming to the eardrum and when passed to the stirrup or stapes bone, it is concentrated very much. And when some more sound is concentrated and it has to pass through a very small area, it will be enhanced. It will be enhanced or increased. So it is amplified like this. Why this amplification is important, which is much lesser? This amplification has to be done in order to vibrate the inner ear fluid, because after the stapes bone, the inner ear starts, and the inner ear contains lot of fluid which has to be vibrated in order to send the nerve impulses to the brain. So if we all know that vibrating a fluid needs a much stronger sound. So that is why the incoming sound wave is amplified 20 times in the last bone stapes, and as a result, the inner ear fluid starts vibrating. Moving forward, the malleus or the hammer bone transmits vibrations via incus to the stapes. You all know these vibrations finally reach to the membrane of oval window. Fine, you have seen that oval window in the diagram. So it starts the inner ear. Vibration is transmitted to the eardrum or tympanic membrane to the inner ear. This increased pressure on the connective tissues of the oval window, this pressure is finally transmitted through the stapes to the cochlea. And because there is a lot of pressure on the oval window of the vibrations, so this pressure is transmitted straight away through the stapes to the cochlea. Fine, you all know amplification, that only that we are talking about here. Then the ossicles transmit mechanical vibrations to the tympanic membrane across the chain of the oval window, where the fluid of the inner ear will move and excite receptors. When the fluid of inner ear will be vibrated, fine, if they are vibrated, the receptors connecting to the inner ear fluid will be excited that there is something happening in the inner ear. This process allows the sound to be transformed into electrical signals. This vibration changes the sound waves vibrations into the electrical signals and then sent to the brain. Then the eustachian tube connects the middle ear cavity with the nasopharynx. It clears the mucus from the middle ear into the nasopharynx. Now nasopharynx is connected to the nose. Fine. And eustachian tube, what is the role of it? It clears up the mucus. Whatever there is a deposition in the ear, it is cleared through the nasopharynx, through eustachian tube. This tube, which opens into the middle ear, is responsible for equalizing the pressure between the air outside and the middle ear. Fine. So this is responsible for maintaining pressure between outside and inside. There is some other pressure outside the ear, and the air pressure inside the ear is different. Now who will balance them? Eustachian tube will balance both the air pressures very nicely. Fine, students. So you have seen that we have already done the till the middle ear. Now in the next session we will discuss about the inner ear and styloid bone, fine, internal carotid artery and vestibular and cochlear nerve, and we will also go with the detailed description of the inner ear. So how do you like the video? Kindly make me aware of through the comment section. Thank you so much.